Hey everyone, thanks for joining. Here with Jarrett. I want to introduce what we're going to be doing here on a weekly basis. We're going to today learn more about Jarrett, his background, and kind of how he got involved in the company. But going forward, definitely going to cover the company in more details, answer questions. We do want it to be interactive, so please, if you have questions, things you want to see in videos, let us know. We'll definitely cover it. Going to talk industry stuff as well. So, hey, if you've got a question, you think it's somehow related to either the company, the industry, please drop it below. We'd love to cover it. But first things first, Jarrett, how are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. Doing well, thanks, Jason.
Yeah, good. Well, here, without further ado, usually like to kick off kind of, first couple jobs, out of school, kind of where you went to school, and we'll just run through the story and the timeline, and then of course how you get involved with the company.
Sure. I mean, first and foremost, I've been part of Experion since its beginning, and I've been the CEO for Experion Holdings now for a little over a year. I guess how I got introduced maybe to the cannabis space is, I've always worked for companies that had a regulatory or compliance component to it. So I've went to school and I'm a scientist by training. I cut my teeth as a microbiologist with my degree, and I kind of started my career as that guy writing procedures for food and health and pharmaceutical companies, where I was the guy that was doing sanitation, and I was doing the recall procedures, and I kind of worked my way up through those kind of companies. I quickly kind of got to the point where I was managing those companies, and I realized a little bit that there was lots of good people out there with ideas, but just couldn't get into the market because of maybe that compliance and that component side of things. So I kind of stretched my entrepreneurial feet and decided to get in and start my own consulting company, which actually helped these companies get into market. So a lot of it was around just structuring what they needed to do. I was very good at taking kind of complex systems and boiling them right down to small, executable, actionable, simple things. And so with that came further entrepreneurial pulls for me. So I started actually helping fund those companies. And I started helping getting those companies up and running, and actually helped sell some of those companies and kind of got it going. So it's quite a successful kind of niche I started building up for
From
myself.
scientist to running your own business
Yeah.
to selling businesses.
Yeah,
Whoa.
so sitting behind a cubicle for 8 hours a day was not my forte, but really stretching my feet and helping companies become their dream was. So I really started leaning into that. Basically, when the cannabis space in Canada decided to go legal, it kind of became this perfect storm for someone like myself, though, to help those kind of companies. Because A, I wasn't scared of the compliance side of things. B, I knew how to fund companies. And C, I knew really how to tread with Health Canada and get things kind of going. So I started another chapter of my consulting company that actually helped companies not only with their business plans, but become Health Canada compliant, and started getting those companies funded and up and running. So like Whistler Medical was one of my first clients, and Experion was one of my first clients. That's how I got introduced to Experion. And then as Canadian market kind of became cold, the US market heated up. And so a lot of capital went down there. And so even my company went down, and I helped companies in Washington, Oregon, California, Illinois, Maryland. I've helped numerous companies actually get funded, licensed, and up and running in those states. And then at that point in time, Canada started letting up a little bit again with the Cannabis Act coming, and Experion started getting traction. So the company actually asked me to come more in a formal role and see if they can help fund the company and get its license across the line. So I actually started working with Experion a little more directly. I helped fund the company its initial round at the RTO. It went public in October 2017, and I've been part of the company in some aspect with it since. And then they actually asked me to become more of a formal role CEO January last year.
So yeah, we'll get to the CEO question, and hey, how'd they convince you? But no, before that, any companies people would know. I mean, hey, that's an incredible background. Curious too, and I'm sure we'll do a video on kind of how you selected them, how you actually helped them, or vice versa, how they selected you. But or unless you want to dive into it now, like very curious, obviously, from an entrepreneur. And I know a lot of people
Yeah,
have.
so too many maybe to mention. Clearly, and they range from medical device, right? They range
Yeah.
from granola bars. They range from to automotive. They even ranged a lot in agriculture, like I said, pharmaceuticals, so nutraceutical. So I
Yeah.
even help people launch a few. I guess some of the main ones is I did a lot of work with Driscoll, a multi-billion-dollar berry company. I work with a lot of farmers. I work directly with Driscoll. I help them get into those models. I'm very familiar with agriculture. That really helped me a lot with actually forming Experion in the next couple of years. But maybe we can get that a little more detail. I can maybe tell you a little bit about kind of why I am interested in cannabis, and
Yeah.
maybe some of the things that excite me about that, if you want.
Yeah, definitely. Please. Yeah.
Okay,
Give me the
so
passions.
sure. You know what? I mean, it's interesting because if you told me 10 years ago that I'd be in the cannabis space, I thought you'd be a little bit, crazy. But,
You'd be smoking.
literally,
Yeah.
yeah. But if I look back, I would say, once in a career, maybe a lifetime, is there an opportunity where something is illegal that goes legal almost overnight? And with that comes a slew of new opportunities, like right across the business platform. So there's new opportunities in branding, distribution, marketing, processing, production, and financing around that. And I knew I wanted to be part of that actually in day one. Even when Canada was legal and it was illegal in the States, and there was that friction a little bit of people crossing the border and didn't want to get banned, I realized I was actually leaning into it more at that time. So I knew I wanted to be part of this from day one. And I guess the next part really is, although it went legal overnight, the cannabis industry has been around for a long time, all of my life, generations behind us. So I want to be part of a movement that actually legitimized the business and made a compliant, safe product for the next generations to come. And I wanted to be part of that. I've seen cannabis, firsthand help people with chronic pain, sleep better at night, anxiety, you name it. And I kind of told myself, why deny people the access to feel better in life? If that's really what it is, I want to be part of a movement to actually be able to offer that to people. So I want to be part of that as well. And I guess one of the other reasons is it's exciting because, we can actually, once you're in it, be able to shape the industry. I wanted to be able to take something ground zero, be proud of it, and actually help define an industry and shape it for what it can be. And that's kind of exactly what we're doing a little bit with Experion and Citizen Stash. We've actually had the ability to shape it for the products we're into it. So that's what keeps me in the industry. It's very exciting. It's very dynamic. It keeps me very challenged. And I like everything that allows me to do. And it actually really, like I said, it's a good fit for me. I'm not scared of some of the operating in a highly compliant operation. Now, I'm not saying it didn't come without its challenges, though. I mean, think about it, Jason. We have, in many ways, a very dysfunctional industry. As we're all together across the entire supply chain, learning as we go, it's created some dysfunction. But those companies that can find function within dysfunction, are going to do well and find the opportunities. And that's what we do well. And that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah, no, incredible. And we'll talk about I think doing a video on how the industry's changed since, you've been in it since the beginning, or at least the early days, and what you've seen will be really cool to do kind of like that history video, and obviously leading it off with where you see it going. But here's, so talk to me, you say you came on as a CEO, relatively speaking, about a year and a bit. How did they trick you into taking the CEO role?
Well, I guess they didn't really trick me so much because I've been part of the company and a lot of my networks in the company. And, I feel a lot of ownership with the shareholders of the company. And I wanted to make sure that what we're doing, really does them right to why they invested in us really. So when they said, "Hey, Jarrett, what would you do with the company?" I kind of presented a plan saying, this is what I would do with it. I would basically take what assets do we have? What can we do really well? How do we bring that to the market? And what I wanted was complete kind of autonomy and control to do that. And they just said, "Okay, it's yours. Go implement it. But these are your restraints, right? You can't raise more capital. You got to do it with the team that's in hand. And you got to turn this around quite quickly. And fortunately, I delivered on all those things, but it wasn't really much of a trick. It was more of an opportunity saying, hey, I think I can really do this. I owe it to the shareholders that were in this because I brought a lot of them to the table, and I owe them to really show that what this company can do. And so I've been honored actually to have the opportunity to do that. And I'm honored to serve the shareholders to this day.
Yeah, no, awesome. Well, obviously, thanks, and thanks for doing videos like these. I know extremely, different than some of the companies out there. So appreciate the fact that you're doing kind of these weekly videos. And again, I do invite anyone with questions, please drop them below. But so question, kind of the end things off here. Walk me through now, as a CEO, been doing it for a year. Give me what the day-to-day, week-to-week looks like now. And we'll do a company plan and, what's the hopes, the goals, the dreams. But just curious kind of what the day-to-day, week-to-week looks like for you.
You know, every day is a new exciting day. Every week's a new exciting week. Things change so quickly in this industry, right? To keep on top of things, but
Yeah.
we're really proud of what we've built in the last year. I mean, we really kept our head down and decided to really build on something that we could be proud of and make a move in the industry, and not only catch up to our competitors, but try and pass them, which I believe we've done. So our day to day, week to week, to tell you the truth, is 100% just keep focused, your eye on the ball. My job most of the time, right, is to make sure all of our executives and department heads and our managers are executing on what they need to do to keep highly focused and continue what we're doing, which is a growth company. So we are very focused on making sure we're a growth company, maintaining our resources on that, winning in the channel we're at. So really what we do day to day, week to week, is we just really make sure that we are focused on what we're doing. We're not getting distracted, and that we execute every day.
Yeah, awesome. Win every day. No, I love the mentality. Well, Jared, thanks so much for joining. This was a great first video. And again, look forward to doing some more here soon.
Look forward to it, Jason. Thank you very much.